Hey, welcome back to Adult Brain Audiobooks. For this experimental live read, we are in part three of book two of the MAGUS, written in 1801 by Francis Barrett, FRC. This is just, it's just to show you how the sausage is done, that we are humans. That it's not just all AI and stuff. You can go back and see all the live tabs in the channel, all the other books we have. We have a huge library of books here too. I'm not the only narrator. There's other ones as well, but this is what we do. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through it. This was a book called The Magus, or Celestial Intelligencer, being a complete system of occult philosophy. This is the last part of part three, which is the conjurations and considerations for every day of the week. So this is going to get a bit pronunciatory. Like, there's a ton of angels in here, and I got to make sure I get it all right. So I'm going to try my best, but I'm going to edit it as we go here. It's a pretty weird chapter, and also I want to get to the end of this, get to part four, and then book three is a really cool biography of a bunch of old alchemists and magicians, which I'm looking forward to reading. It's got like Magnus and Agrippa and Apuleius, Zoroaster, Hermes, Dr. D and Edward Kelly, some cool stuff like that. D was written about in 1801 because he's just getting popular again today. So I'm looking forward to reading that. What was I getting at? But this one is, oh yeah, the warning. So I mean, we do want to put out this caveat here that for information entertainment purposes only. We do not recommend practicing any part of this book. Just this is where it gets a bit grimoire-ish. So people are welcome to do that, of course, but we're not recommending it. You know what I mean? Just want to make sure that people don't take this the wrong way. We're just putting it out there for public so people realize what the magicians and the magic was like back in the 1700s, 1800s when they were writing this stuff. It's a tool. It can be used for good and evil, right? So here we go. I'm going to start off. Let's just do a little test here and see how it goes. Okay, it seems to be working. I'm going to keep an eye on that record level. Try and keep it above 45. All right. Yeah, this is going to get a little crazy. There's a million names of angels in here that I'm going to have to pronounce. Here follow the considerations and conjurations for every day in the week, and first of the considerations, etc., of Sunday. For the figure of the seals, planets, signs, names of the angels of the several days, and names of the fourth heaven with the characters and magic book, see the plate. The angels of the Lord's day, Michael, Dardiel. Let me just scroll over. This is not going to be like this the whole time, but I do want to just check with that one. Now, with my assistant on that one, I had checked some of these Haratapal. The The angels of the Lord's day, Michael, Dardiel, Haratapal. The angels of the air. I'm already losing my voice, and I just started. Excuse me. Air wants to come down and up all the time. Speaking of air, Varkan, the king, the angels of the air. The angels of the air ruling on the Lord's day, Varkan, king, his ministers, Tus, Andas, Sinabal. The wind which the angels of the air are said to rule is the north wind. The angels of the fourth heaven ruling on the Lord's day, which should be called from the four parts of the world, are East, Samael, Basiel, Abel, Gabriel, Vionatraba. Did I check that one out? I would have checked that one out. That's a bit of a weird one. Yeah. Vion, Viona Traba, Viona Traba, Viona Traba, Viona Traba, Viona Traba. From the west, Anael, Pabel, Ustiel, Burkot, Susaratos, Capabili, Susaratos. Check. Susaratos, Capabili. From the north, Ariel, Vel Achiel, Mas Gabriel, Saphiel, Matthew, Mattuel. At the south, Haludiel, Makaziel, Carziel, Uriel, Neromiel. The perfume of Sunday is red sanders. The conjuration for Sunday. I conjure and confirm upon you, ye strong and holy angels of God, in the name of Adonai, Aya, which is he who was and is to come, I, Abre, and in the name Sade, Kados, sitting on high upon the cherubim, and by the great name of God himself, strong and powerful, who is exalted above all the heavens. Got a dry, scratchy throat for some reason. Excuse me. I, Sarai, who created the world, the heavens, the earth, the sea, and all that in them is, in the first day, and scaled them with his holy name, Fa, and by the name of the angels who rule in the fourth heaven, and serve before the most mighty Salamia, an angel great and honorable, and by the name of his star, which is Sol, and by his sign, and by the immense name of the living God, and by all the names aforesaid, I conjure thee, Michael, O great angel, who art chief ruler of this day, and by the name Adonai, the God of Israel, I conjure thee, O Michael, that thou labor for me and fulfill all my petitions according to my will and desire in my cause and business. The spirits of the air of the Lord's day are under the north wind. Their nature is to procure gold, gems, carbuncles, diamonds, and rubies, and to cause one to obtain favor and benevolence, to dissolve enmities amongst men, to raise to honors, and to take away infirmities. They appear, for the most part, in a large, full, and great body, sanguine and cross, in a gold color, with the tincture of blood. Their motion is like the lightning of heaven. Excuse me. Air is coming up. Air is coming up on this Saturday. The sign of their becoming visible is that they move the person to sweat that calls them, but their particular forms are follows. Let me just redo that quickly. But their particular forms are as follows, viz. A king having a scepter, riding on a lion, a king crowned, a queen with a scepter, a bird, a lion, a cock, a yellow garment, a scepter. Considerations, etc. of Monday. For the angel of Monday, his sigil, planet, sign of the planet, and name of the first heavens, see the plate. The angels of Monday, Gabriel, Michael, Samael. The angels of the air ruling Monday, Arkan, king, his ministers, Belet, Mizabu, Abu Haza. The wind which these are subject to is the west wind. The angels of the first heaven ruling on Monday, to be called from the four parts of the world, from the east, Gabriel, Madiel, Demiel, Yannick, from the west, Sakael, Yanni. Let me just redo that again. From the west, from the east, from the west, Yannick. I think it's Janik, not Yannick. Let me just double check that quickly. with my assistant, see what he says. He's helping me with the MAGUS pronunciations. Janik, I bet you it's Janik. Janik or Yannick. This is a weird one because J's weren't around for quite the long time, right? They would, what? It's not, he's not answering me. Janik, yeah. Okay. Janik. From the west, Sakael, Zaniel, Habiel, Bakanai. You know, normally just I would be redoing that whole sentence, but I mean with this book and with this YouTube, I'm just gonna cheat some of these and cheat some of them because there's so many, you know, pronunciations just on and on and on. So I'm just gonna delete that. Check with my assistant on that one guy there, Buckeye. It doesn't sound right. Buckeye. I'm pretty sure I tried this one before I started recording. Bakani. Yeah, Bakani. Not Bakani. Bakani. Corabale. Bakani, Corabale. From the north, Mael, Uvial, Valnum, Balial, Ballet, Humastra. From the south, Karaniel, Dabriel, Darkiel, Hanun, Vetiel. The perfume, that's wrong. Vetul, that's wrong. It's Vetuel. The perfume, Vetuel. The perfume of Monday, aloes. The conjuration of Monday. Whoops. Is that right? Perfume of Monday. Yeah. Huh. The conjuration of Monday. I conjure and confirm upon you, ye strong and good angels, in the name Adonai, 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 I, Kados, Akim, Yah, strong Yah, who appear in Mount Sinai with the glorification of King Adonai, Sadai, Zeboath, Anathe, Yah, Maranatha, Abim, Jaya, who created the sea and all lakes and waters in the second day, which are above the heavens and in the earth, and scaled the sea in his high name, and gave it the bounds beyond which it cannot pass. And by the names of the angels who rule in the first legion, and who serve Orphaniel, a great, precious, and honorable angel, and by the name of his star, which is Luna, and by all the names aforesaid, I conjure thee, Gabriel, who art chief ruler of Monday, the second day, that for me thou labor and fulfill, etc. The spirits of the air of Monday are subject to the west wind, which is the wind of the moon. Their nature is to give silver and to convey things from place to place, to make horses swift, and to disclose the secrets of persons both present and future. Their familiar forms are as follows. They appear generally of a great and full stature, soft and phlegmatic, of color like a black, obscure cloud, having a swollen countenance, with eyes red and full of water, a bald head, and teeth like a wild boar. Their motion is like an exceeding great tempest of the sea. For their sign there will appear an exceeding great rain, and their particular shapes are a king like an archer riding upon a doe, a little boy, a woman hunter with a bow and arrows, a cow, a little doe, a goose, a green or silver colored garment, an arrow, a creature with many feet. Considerations of Tuesday. For the angel of Tuesday, his sigil, planet, sign governing the planet, the name of the fifth heaven, see the plate. The angels of the air on Tuesday, Samael, Satael, Amabiel. The angels of the air ruling on Tuesday, Samax, king, His ministers, Carmax, Ismoli, Paphron. The wind to which the said angels are subject is the east wind. The angels of the fifth heaven ruling on Tuesday at the east, Gual, Damiel, Calzas, Aragon, the west, Lama, Astagna, Lobquin, Sonias, Jazel, Izael, Irel, the north, Rumel, Hiniel, Rael, Seraphiel, Phrasiel, Mathiel. Let me just double check that one with my assistant. Mizabu went through that. Normal let me just see here. Mathiel, Mathiel, I bet. Mathiel. Phrasiel. Phrasiel, Mathiel. The south, Sacriel, Janiel, Galdel, Osael, Vinuel, Zaliel. That's not right. Osael. Then Vianuel. Just get me that one straight. I'm just trying to do this properly here. Vianuel. Osael. That's not that either. Osael. Vianuel. Osael. Osael, Vianuel, Zaliel. The perfume of Tuesday, pepper. The conjuration of Tuesday. I conjure and call upon you, ye strong and good angels, in the names Ya, he, Va, Hi, Ha, ha, Va, An, Aya, El, Ilibra, Elohim, and by the names of the high God, who hath made the sea and dry land, and by his word hath made the earth and produced trees, and hath set his seal upon the planets, with his precious, honored, revered, and holy name, and by the name of the angels governing in the fifth house, who are subservient to the great angel Asamoy, who is strong, powerful, and honored, and by the name of his star, which is called Mars. I call upon thee, Samael, by the names above mentioned, thou great angel, who presides over the day of Mars, and by the name Adonai, the living and true God, that you assist me in accomplishing my labors, etc., as in the conjuration of Sunday. The spirits of the air on Tuesday are under the east wind. Their nature is to bring or cause war, mortality, death, combustions, and to give 2,000 soldiers at a time, to bring death, infirmity, or health. Familiar forms of the spirits of Mars. They appear in a tall body and choleric, filthy countenance of color brown, swarthy, or red, having horns like hearts, and griffins' claws, and bellowing like wild bulls. Their motion is like fire burning, their sign thunder and lightning round about the circle. Their particular shapes are a king armed, riding on a wolf, a man armed, a woman with a buckler on her thigh, a she-goat, a horse, a stag, a red garment, a piece of wool, a cowslip. Considerations of Wednesday. For the angel of Wednesday, his sigil, etc., see the plate. The angels of Wednesday, Raphael, Miel, Seraphiel. The angels of the air ruling on Wednesday, Madiat, king, ministers, Sequinos, Salales. The said angels of the air are subject to the southwest wind. The angels of the second heaven governing Wednesday, that are to be called, etc., at the east, Malthai, That's not right. I'm going to just bump that up a bit. At the east. At the east, at the east, at the east. Mathli. At the east, Mathli, Tarmiel, Baraborat. At the west, Jeruscu, Metatron. At the north, Thiel, Rael, Jerahael, Vanahel, Valel. Redo that. Valel. That's a weird one. I'm going to check with my assistant on that one. Actually, let me just go back here. Valel, Abu Eori. Sometimes I can figure it out, but sometimes it's just good to see it written down. Abu Yori, and Usurmiel, Valel, Abuori, Usurmiel. At the south, Miliel, Nalapa, Calvel, Vel, Lacuel. The perfume on Wednesday, mastic. The conjuration of Wednesday. I conjure and call upon you, ye strong and holy angels, good and powerful, in a strong name of fear and praise. Yah, Adonai, Elohim, Sadeh, I. Asami, and in the name of Adonai, the God of Israel, who hath made the two great lights, and distinguished day from night for the benefit of his creatures, and by the names of all the discerning angels governing openly in the second house before the great angel, Tetra, strong and powerful, and by the name of his star, which is Mercury, and by the name of his seal, which is that of a powerful and honored God. And I call upon thee, Raphael, and by the names above mentioned, thou great angel who presididest. Better redo that. Thou great angel who presididest. And I call, just redo it right from there. And I call upon thee. And I call upon thee, Raphael, and by the names above mentioned, thou great angel who presidest over the fourth day, and by the holy name which is written in the front of Aaron, created the most high priest, and by the names of all the angels who are constant in the grace of Christ, and by the name and place of Amalium, that you assist me in my labors, etc., etc. The spirits of the air on Wednesday are subject to the southwest wind. Their nature is to give all sorts of metals, to reveal all earthly things, past, present, and to come, to pacify judges, to give victory in war, to teach experiments and all sciences decayed, and to change bodies mixed of elements conditionally out of one thing into another, to give health or infirmities, to raise the poor and cast down the rich, to bind or loose spirits, to open locks or bolts. Such kinds of spirits have the operations of others, but not in their perfect power, but in virtue or knowledge. Forms of the spirits of Mercury. The spirits of Mercury appear in a body of a middle stature, cold, liquid, and moist, fair and of an affable speech, in a human shape and form, like a knight armed, of color clear and bright. The motion of them is like silver-colored clouds. For their sign they cause horror and fear to him that calls them. Their particular shapes are a king riding upon a bear, a fair youth, a woman holding a distaff, a dog, a she-bear, and a magpie, a garment of various changeable colors, a rod, a little staff. Considerations of Thursday. For the angel of Thursday, his sigil, etc., see the plate. The angels of Thursday, Sachiel, Cassiel, Azaziel. The angels of the air of Thursday, Suth, king, ministers, Maguth, Gutrix. The angels of the air are under the south wind, but because there are no angels of the air to be found above the fifth heaven, therefore on Thursday say the prayers following in the four parts of the world. At the east, O Deus Magna, et excelsi, et honoret per infinitua secula, or O great and most high God, honored by O great. O great and most high God, honored be thy name, world without end. At the west, O wise, pure, and just God of divine clemency, I beseech thee, most holy Father, that this day I may perfectly understand and accomplish my petition, work, and labor, for the honor and glory of thy holy name, who livest and reignest, world without end. Amen. At the north, O God, strong, mighty, and wonderfully from everlasting to everlasting, grant this day I bring the effect that which I desire through our blessed Lord. Amen. At the south, O mighty and most merciful God, hear my prayers and grant my petition. The perfume of Thursday, saffron. The conjuration of Thursday. Excuse me. Oh, burping. Air's coming up. Just a sec here while my cat changes position. Okay, here we go. I conjure and confirm upon you, ye strong and holy angels, by the names Kados, 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 Eskurki, 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 Hatim, Yah, strong founder of the worlds, Canteen, Jame, Janik, Anik, Kalbat, Sabak, Beresay, Al-Naim, and by the name Adonai, who created fishes and creeping things in the waters, and birds upon the face of the earth, flying towards heaven in the 5th day, and by the names of the angels serving in the 6th host before Pastor, a holy angel and a great and powerful prince, and by the name of his star, which is Jupiter, and by the name of his seal, and by the name of Adonai, the great God, creator of all things, and by the name of all the stars, and by their power and virtue, and by all the names aforesaid, I conjure thee, Sakael, a great angel, who art chief ruler of Thursday, that for me thou labor, etc. The spirits of the air of Thursday are subject to the south wind. Their nature is to procure the love of women, to cause men to be merry and joyful, to pacify strifes and contentions, to appease enemies, to heal the diseased, and the disease the whole, and procure losses or restore things lost. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Hey, B Brax, thanks for the shout out there. All right, this is my favorite part of these. Get to talk about the forms of Jupiter. The familiar forms of the spirits of Jupiter. They appear with a body sanguine and choleric, of a middle stature, with a horrible, fearful motion, but with a mild countenance and a gentle speech, and of the color of iron. The motion of them is flashings of lightning and thunder. For their sign there will appear about the circle men who shall seem to be devoured by lions. Their forms are a king with a sword drawn, riding on a stag, a man wearing a mitre with long raiment, a maid with a laurel crown adorned with flowers, a bull, a stag, a peacock, an azure garment, a sword, a box tree. Considerations of Friday. For the seal planets and sign governing the planet, and name of the third heaven, see the plate. The angels of Friday, Anael, Rachiel, Sachiel. The angels of the air ruling on Friday, Sarabotes, king, ministers, Amahiel, Amahiel, Amahiel. Wow, thank you, B Brax. Wow, I appreciate that. 100%. Awesome. Made my day. Ministers. Amahiel. Ministers Amahiel, Abalidoth, Blaeth. The wind which the angels of the air are subject to is the west wind. Angels of the third heaven, which are to be called from the four parts of the world, are at the east. Sechiel. I did not notice this one. Caducelenial. I'm just going to check with my assistant on that one. I missed this in my perusal. My guess is Caducelenial. Caducelenial. Yeah, Caducelenial, Korat, Tamuel, Tanakiel. At the west, Turiel, Coniel, Babiel, Kadi, Maltiel, Hufaltiel. At the north, Peniel, Penel, Panat, Raphael, Rani, Doremiel. At the south, Perosa, Sakiel, Kermiel, Kermiel, Samael, Santanael, and Famiel, Santaniel, Famiel. The perfume of Friday, pepperwort. The conjuration of Friday. I conjure and confirm upon you, ye strong and holy angels, by the names On, He, Heya, Ja, Je, Sadai, Adonai, and in the name Sadai, who created four-footed beasts and creeping things and man in the sixth day, and gave to Adam power over all creatures. Wherefore blessed be the name of the Creator in his place, and by the name of the angels serving in the third host before Dagiel, a great angel and a strong and powerful prince, and by the name of his star, which is Venus, and by his seal, which is holy, and by all the names aforesaid, I conjure upon thee, Anael, who art the chief ruler this day, that thou labor for me, etc. The spirits of the air on Friday are subject to the west wind. Their nature is to give silver, to incite men and incline them to luxury, to cause marriages, to allure men to love women, to cause or take away infirmities, and to do all things which have motion. Their familiar shapes. They appear with a fair body of middle stature, with an amiable and pleasant countenance, of color white or green, their upper parts golden. The motion of them is like a clear star. For their sign there will appear naked virgins round the circle, which will strive to allure the invocator to dalliance with them. But their particular shapes are a king with a scepter riding on a camel, a naked girl, a she-goat, a camel, a dove, a white or green garment, flowers, the herb savine. The conjurations, whoops, that was wrong. Redo that quickly. The considerations of Saturday. For seal, etc., etc., see the plate. The angels of Saturday, Kaziel, Makatan, Uriel, the angels of the air ruling this day, Maimon, king, ministers, Abu Maleth, Asadai, Asibi, Baladet. I'm just going to double check these two. I'm almost done. I want to get this right. So I'm just going to check with my assistant. I don't know if I checked these ones already. I don't think so. So those are worth checking. Most of them are pretty straightforward, but Asibi, my guess is Asibi and Baladet. Baladet? Asibi, Baladet. Yeah. Asybe, Baladet. The wind they are subject to the south wind. The fumigation of Saturday is sulfur. There are no angels ruling in the air on Saturday above the fifth heaven. Therefore, in the four corners of the world, in the circle, use those orations which are applied to Thursday. The conjuration of Saturday. I conjure and confirm upon you Caphriel or Caziel, Macator, and Seraquiel, strong and powerful angels, and by the name Adonai, I, Asim, Kados, Ima, Saleh, Jah, Sar, Lord, and Maker of the world, who rested on the seventh day, and by him who of his good pleasure gave the same to be observed by the children of Israel throughout their generations, that they should keep and sanctify the same, to have thereby a good reward in the world Teutonic, and by the names of the angels serving in the seventh host before Bual, a great angel, a powerful prince, and by the name of his star, which is Saturn, and by his holy seal, and by the names before spoken, I conjure upon thee. I'm losing my voice here. And by his holy seal. I'm going to restart from that one. Check. And by his holy seal, and by the names before spoken, I conjure upon thee, Caphriel, who art chief ruler of the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, that for me thou labor, etc., etc. The spirits of the air on Saturday are subject to the southwest wind. The nature of them is to sow discords, hatred, evil thoughts, and cogitations, to give leave to kill and murder, and to lame or maim every member. Their familiar shapes. They generally appear with a tall, lean, slender body with an angry countenance, having four faces, one in the back of the head, one in the front, and one on each side, nosed or beaked. Likewise, there appears a face on each knee of a black, shining color. Sorry. Check. Their motion is the moving of the wind with a kind of earthquake. Their sign is white earth, whiter than snow. Their particular shapes are a king, bearded, riding on a dragon, an old man with a beard, an old woman leaning on a crutch, a hog, a dragon, an owl, a black garment, a hook or sickle, a juniper tree. So it's funny that the start of this in the other PDF. Where is that? Let me just scroll up and see if I can find that quickly. Yeah, there it is. Kind of a cool. So this is from the old PDF that still has the F's as. Oh, was I not sharing that at all? Was I not sharing my screen with you guys the whole time? Now I'm confused. Oh my god! Maybe I didn't even share the screen with you guys. Oh, shit! How embarrassing. Fuck. Sorry about that. Wow, how embarrassing. I think I went the whole way just with me not even sharing the screen. Jesus. So anyways, this is, like that last one, the king riding a dragon, right? That's probably from that, and yeah, Saturday. There's Saturday, the king riding the dragon. So this is not sharing. Thanks, B-Brax. Ugh, that's kind of embarrassing. I forgot the whole time. That was the whole point that I share the screen. So thanks for confirming that. Anyways, like I'm doing right now, but this is one of the PDFs, except it's hard to read from this because the S's are still F's. That's how old this is, from 1801. This was all written. So, anyways, oh man. So here I am. This is where I am here at the end of this recording. I thought you changed something up. Yeah, I just totally gapped out. Yeah. Oof. And here I am right at the very end. Anyways, I'll just finish this off quickly and then juniper tree. Just gotta wait for my cat to jump off the desk here up to the windowsill so she can freak out. Juniper tree. Juniper tree. Okay, so here we are, almost done. So this was what I was reading from. All this here from the Conjurations. Yeah. This is all one sort of big chapter, the end of part 3, and then I'll just quickly go over what's next. Looking forward to finishing this off. Those are the figures that these spirits usually assume, which are generally terrible at the first coming on of the visions, but as they have only a limited power beyond which they cannot pass, so the invocator need be under no apprehensions of danger, provided he is well fortified with those things we have directed to be used for his defense, and above all, to have a firm and constant faith in the mercy, wisdom, and goodness of God. End of the third part. End of, actually, I'm just going to, Mocha. Cat's freaking out, knocking the screen everywhere like usual. End of the third. I'm just going to, before I do that, I'm just going to read the footnote quickly. Footnotes. Those who appear in a kingly form have a much higher dignity than them who take an inferior shape, and those who appear in a human shape exceed in authority and power them that come as animals, and again, these latter surpass in dignity them who appear as trees or instruments, and the like, so that you are to judge of the power, government, and authority of spirits by their assuming a more noble and dignified apparition. End of the third part, end of Cabalistical and ceremonial magic. Benjamin is saying the Blavatsky simulcast is getting higher views. Well, what does that mean? I guess that's great. So I stayed here. Thank you. Thank you. I guess we're simulcasting. Are we doing both at once? I guess Darren's released the Blavatsky, the key to theosophy is what you're probably talking about, which I was reading in the background this whole week. It was really good, actually. Pretty interesting, and there's a whole like three chapter glossary for people that want to know what all the terms mean and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like a question answer type thing with Blavatsky, so it's pretty interesting. So yeah, thank you for coming here, Benjamin and Brax. This is the next one, Trithemius of Spanheim, containing his book of secret things and doctrine of spirits. So this is the last part 4 of book 2. Looking forward to reading that. And then after that is the bio, which is book 3, which is going to be pretty fun because it's pretty cool with all the ancient alchemists and magicians. So yes, well, thank you everybody for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to keep going on this tomorrow. I really want to finish off all 3 of these books and then see. But yeah, Blavatsky, I guess what you're saying is that the key to theosophy is out there as well right now. If anybody wants to check back in our catalog. And thank you. Have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.